So right off the bat, I know you probably think this title is just clickbait, because duh, this is YouTube. That's what that's what it is. But no, seriously, there is actually a way to get an EV for free in Texas, and I've done it. I actually did it for my fiance, believe it or not. So I'm not only going to show you how to get an EV for free, but I'm actually going to show you how to get more cash than what you started with versus if you kept driving your gasoline car. So you can keep your gasoline car, leave it in the driveway, keep paying your lease on it, etc. I'm going to show you how to get an EV, an additional car, for free and actually save money by driving it and benefiting the environment at the same time. So before I start, please hit that like and subscribe button. This is a growing channel. It really helps. It takes a couple seconds for you, but these videos take a long time to make for me. And the more likes and subscribes I get, the more awareness we can spread about this, help get more people in EVs, really help the cause quite a bit. So I would really appreciate those likes and subscribes quite a bit. So with that, let's get into it. Okay, so let's get right on down to business. First off, you're going to get a check for $2,500 from the state of Texas. There's a grant offered by the TCEQ that not enough people have applied to for the past 4 years that they've offered this grant. So as far as I'm aware, since 2018, they've offered a grant for $2,500 for new leases or purchase of electric vehicles. And virtually every electric vehicle is included, including Teslas. But we're actually going to focus on one in particular, the Nissan Leaf, for a very specific reason. But again, the nice thing is you're essentially guaranteed this grant unless enough people see this video and apply for the grant, and I hope they do, because we need people to use it. So at the time of filming this video, not enough people have applied for this grant. There's still plenty of grants available, and until everyone has applied for the grant, everyone is guaranteed to get the grant. So apply for the grant, get your free EV lease. I'm going to show you how to do it. All right, so now you know about the TCEQ grant for $2,500 cash for an EV lease. So how do you go about finding a lease for less than $2,500 for an electric vehicle? Well, unfortunately, there are not any electric vehicle leases for less than $2,500. However, Nissan occasionally offers a Nissan Leaf lease, as in a lease on their electric vehicle called the Nissan Leaf for $89 a month and $1,449 down. That means, and this is over a period of 2 years, that means with this $2,500, $1,449 down and $89 a month, you can get the entire lease over 2 years for about $900. And that's pretty cheap to drive a car around for 2 years. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, well, this isn't free. And you're right, it's not free. But you have to look at the alternative. So let's look at what it would actually cost to drive a gasoline-powered car for 2 years rather than the Nissan Leaf versus what it would cost to charge the Nissan Leaf over that same 2-year period. Let's look at that real quick. So earlier I said that I actually got this deal for my fiance. So I actually got her a deal on a Nissan Leaf lease that ended up saving her a significant amount of money. So here's the whole situation. She had a 2008 Ford Escape that was in fairly rough shape. I was working on it a lot. I got really sick of working on it. It was like every weekend. It was a lot. So essentially she needed a new vehicle. And I thought, well, I'm a big environmentalist. I've got the whole recycling thing going on. I own a recycling company. So I'm like, I should probably look into this and see if there's any way that she would be able to afford an electric vehicle. So I was thinking, well, I know the TCEQ, Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, the TCEQ gives out grants for $2,500 per year for electric vehicles. So I'm like, you know what? Is there a lease that is somewhat close to that where she would have like a really low payment? And I was thinking, what would her actual costs be as far as charging the car, car maintenance, and all that. So I started adding this up, and the savings are actually kind of crazy. So at a current average of $3.80 per gallon of gas, she drives 1,000 miles per month for work and school. So an average economical car, we'll say a car with really good mileage, right, gets 34 miles per gallon. So that comes out to a fuel expense of $112 per month, right? Which is more than $89 per month, which is what the Leaf would cost to lease. So now here's another interesting thing, right? Vehicle maintenance for regular cars averages 9 cents per mile. So over 1,000 miles, she drives 1,000 miles per month. This comes out to $90 per month for car maintenance, right? So vehicle maintenance on our Nissan Leaf is basically non-existent. You don't have to do anything. It doesn't have any oil or coolant. It's got wheels and a roof, but it doesn't have like any belts. It has no oil whatsoever. I think there might be some oil in the transmission, but that doesn't need to be changed. It has no maintenance schedule. Like there's no spark plugs to change, no air filter to change, no oil to change, no fuel filter to change, no belts to change. And the brakes hardly ever wear out because it's got regenerative braking. It brakes itself and restores power. It even has the one pedal driving. This sounds like an ad for Nissan, but this is not. I'm not being sponsored by Nissan. I'm just trying to get people to drive electric vehicles. Okay, so the vehicle maintenance was $90 per month on any regular car, any new car, with the oil changes and the belts and all that. It's $90 per mile on average. That comes from AAA, American Automobile Association. So $3.80 per gallon for gas comes out to $112 per month, then $90 per month for vehicle maintenance. That comes out to $202 per month just in gas and vehicle maintenance, like just to drive the car, a gas car. So let's take out the lease and all that, like just to drive the thing and keep it running costs $202 per month on top of whatever she would be paying as far as a lease, as far as a car loan, all that. So that's where the math really starts to make sense. Like, she could pay $1,449 down, then $89 per month. Well, then she gets a check for $2,500. So she has to come out of pocket $1,449 at the dealership, but then she gets a check right back, and she's $1,000 ahead. And then every month that she drives the thing, she's saving money. So how much money does she actually save? Let's look at that. Ow. Okay, so in order to figure out how much money she's actually saving by driving the Leaf, what we have to do is figure out how much the thing costs to charge. So I figured out the cost to charge like this, right? So I only buy electricity generated from solar sources. Like I said, I'm a big recycling guy, big green energy guy. I've got recycling company, all that. Okay, so I'm only buying electricity from solar generated power sources. I use TCEQ's solar days and free nights or something like that. So we pay 13.8 cents per kilowatt hour for electricity. And her car has a 40 kilowatt hour battery and goes 151 miles per charge on that battery. It's got 151 mile range. So at 40 kilowatt hours for 151 miles, that means her car goes about 3.8 miles per kilowatt hour of electricity. Okay, so that's 3.8 miles per kilowatt hour. And I'm paying 13.8 cents per kilowatt hour. So I broke this all down, and I found out that in order to drive 1,000 miles per month that she drives, that's about how much she drives going back and forth to work and school, it costs $36 in electricity versus $112 in gas. So there's no maintenance cost. And the total cost to drive her 1,000 miles back and forth to work and school and all that is $36. And that's paying, that's high electricity. That's kind of a lot that we're paying because I'm buying the solar energy. And there's probably some other little charges on top of that. But on average, it's like 14 cents, 13.8 cents a kilowatt hour. Okay, so that means $36 versus $202 for gas and maintenance. So that means she's saving like $170 or $160 per month just by not driving a gas car. Like, let's take out the lease for a gas car and all those costs she would have. Let's take all that out. And now she still has to pay $800 for the lease, for the lease. That's what she has to pay extra if, with the $89 per month, $14.49 down deal. Okay, so that means she's saving about $160 per month over 2 months. I should be able to figure this out quick. I was a math major. I've never used it, but I was a math major. I should be able to do this. So that's like $3,600 saving, like $160 per month over 12 months. That's like $1,900. And then over 2 years, that's like $3,800 that she's saving. So once she gets the $2,500 back, her total cost of lease for the 2 years is like $900. Then she saves, $3,600? So that's, like $2,800 that she saved just by owning the electric vehicle? And that got me thinking, even if you had a regular gasoline vehicle, would you be able to save money just by not driving it? I don't know. Would you be able to save money just by getting a grant for an EV and leaving that gasoline vehicle parked in your driveway and driving the EV instead? I don't know. Maybe I'll do another video on that. Maybe that's something I should look into. So now that I've changed my shirt and grown some facial hair, why don't we get into the EV and actually answer some frequently asked questions people usually have about EVs, like how long does it take to charge? Do I need any kind of special equipment to charge it? Is it fast? Is it actually good for the environment? All those kind of questions. So let's go ahead and get in the EV, and I'm going to change my shirt. Okay, so let's answer all of the regular Q&A questions about electric cars. First off is, what kind of sacrifices do you need? What kind of sacrifices are you going to have as far as driving an electric vehicle? There really are none. Another question is, how long does it take to charge? So you don't need any kind of special charging equipment whatsoever as long as you're willing to wait a minute for it to charge. So her car takes about 6 to 8 hours to charge from 10% to fully charged, just on a regular 110 volt wall outlet in our garage. Another question is, do I need any kind of special equipment as far as owning the EV? Again, no. Not unless you want a fast charge. The only thing you're gonna need is just a fast charging outlet, like a 220 volt dedicated outlet if you want a fast charge. But if you just want a regular trickle charge your EV, then no, you don't need anything at all. It comes with a charging cord. If you need to use an extension cord, as in if you don't have an outlet close enough for the cord to reach to, you can also use an extension cord. We actually use an extension cord to power hers. You need to make sure that it's an appropriate amperage though. It needs to be at least a 15 amp extension cord, preferably 20 amp if you can find it. Another question people worry about a lot or wonder about a lot is if you can go on road trips in an EV with short range. And even with this range, like even with 151 miles of range, you could easily go on any road trip because you're always going to be less than 151 miles away from your nearest charger. You just have to plan accordingly. So even if you don't have access to a gasoline vehicle or a hybrid vehicle or a longer range EV, there's two options. You can either rent a car for those road trips, or you can plan your road trip around superchargers or just regular charging ports. It's totally up to you. Another question people wonder about a lot is, are the charging stations interchangeable? Can you charge at a Tesla station? Can you charge using a Nissan car at just a generic charger? So you can charge any car at a generic charger, yeah. There's a couple different charging infrastructures like ChattyMo and the specific Tesla proprietary chargers. But if you have a converter, you can actually charge at Tesla superchargers or any other charging ports. So most charging ports around our area have CHAdeMO connections that we can charge the Nissan Leaf with. But just in case they don't, if all there are Tesla chargers around, there's also a converter, like an adapter, that you can use to charge at Tesla ports as well. Another question that people like to ask a lot is whether or not this car is fast, whether or not the Nissan Leaf is fast, because it's an EV, and for some reason a lot of people think that EVs are really slow. And granted, this is not supposed to be a fast car. This is just an economical car. There's not really supposed to be anything fast about it. But I've owned an S2000 and a Porsche Boxster, and even still, this car seems pretty fast. We're gonna go ahead and floor it and do a 0 to 60. Well, a 0 to 45. Because the speed limit is 45 miles per hour, and we would never dream of going above the speed limit. Lastly, another really important question. Does driving an EV actually benefit the environment? A lot of people think that because most power still comes from burning hydrocarbons, like burning oil and gas, that driving an EV doesn't actually do anything. But that's only true if you're getting your electricity from hydrocarbon-based sources, like from a power plant that burns coal, oil, or gas, etc. If you're buying solar energy, like I buy solar energy, and you're powering your car with that energy, then yeah, it benefits the environment a lot, because you're not burning any hydrocarbons, you're not releasing any CO2 into the environment. They do release some when they make it, but after driving for like 60 or 70,000 miles, the car essentially, like, you saved all of the carbon dioxide that it took to build the car. So yeah, over time you absolutely benefit the environment. Another really important thing to understand is that even if you're not saving carbon dioxide from the air, like totally, like as a whole, in your immediate neighborhood and in your immediate like house or garage, you're saving a ton of pollution. And people don't really understand how harmful car exhaust really is, but it's been proven to cause cancer and a lot of other health conditions. So not only are you removing CO2, you're removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, but you're also keeping it out of your neighborhood, away from your kids, out of your garage, etc. Alright guys, so now that we've answered all the most frequently asked questions about EVs, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. There we go. That's much better. Okay, so now that we've answered all of the most frequently asked questions that I could think of about EVs, I'm going to go ahead and include a link for that TCEQ grant in the description of this video. And I'm also going to include a link, if I can find any of these deals, for any deals for like $89 per month for a Nissan Leaf lease. Or they also offer one, sometimes it's $199 per month with no money down. If I can find any of those deals, I'll go ahead and include those in the description of the video as well. But the thing is, they don't always offer those lease deals. So if you do see them, you'll want to really make note of it and think about whether or not you want to jump on this deal right then and there. You're basically guaranteed to get the TCEQ grant as long as there are some left. That's the real caveat. So the last few years that they've run it, they have not run out of leases. There have been like 1,500 or 1,700 leases left at the end of the year. So if they do run out of leases, they'll put something on their website that says, sorry, don't bother applying, we've run out of leases. So check that first before you do the lease, and make sure to bring all the paperwork for the grant with you to the actual lease signing, and don't fall for any of the dealer tricks. Just if they say they don't have that deal, just go to a different dealership. And that's really how you'll take care of that and make sure you're getting the best value, getting the right lease, etc. So again, I'll include those in the description. I'll include the TCEQ grant, and I'll also include any of those lease deals if I can find any. And make sure to like and subscribe to this video, or make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're a new channel. It really means a lot to us, especially right now that we're growing. I'll make sure to look at each one of those likes and subscriptions personally, and also comment, if you have any more, questions about electric vehicles, anything that you'd like answered, or just anything that you'd like to comment about electric vehicles or renewable energy, feel free to put that in the comments. I'll respond to you. We can have a little dialogue. That'll be great. So I really hope you liked the video. There'll be more content like this coming, and I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you.